Hare Krishna. A warm welcome to all the students, the youngsters, the youth of Nasik who have assembled tonight. I am really amazed, impressed by this wonderful turnout. ये 8वां अजूबा हो गया ऐसा लग रहा है. एक तो आप लोग सब आपकी युवावस्था में हैं मैक्सिमम, कॉलेज गोइंग और अपने आप को युवा समझने वाले. तो एक तो आप लोग सब आपकी युवावस्था में हैं, यू आर ऑल इन द प्राइम ऑफ योर यूथ. सेकेंडली, on a Saturday night, देखिए ये अजूबे पे अजूबे कैसे एक के ऊपर एक बनते जाएंगे. प्राइम ऑफ योर यूथ, सैटरडे नाइट, दैट टू इन द मंथ ऑफ February. ये आपकी हंसी से पता चल गया कि ये फरवरी का महीना वो क्या मायने रखता है एक यूथ की जिंदगी में आजकल. सो यूथ, सैटरडे नाइट, दैट टू इन द मंथ ऑफ February. वेल, दिस इज नॉट ऑल, बट इन अ टेम्पल, एक मंदिर में. अक्सर जब इस प्रकार के कार्यक्रम, जब यूथ फेस्टिवल्स या ये प्रेरणा जैसे कार्यक्रम हम लोग मंदिर में आयोजित करते हैं, तो आप लोगों में से बहुत से आपके मित्र इत्यादि रिश्तेदारों को, चाहे वो फेसबुक पर हो, इंस्टा पर हो, चाहे कोई भी जेंडर के मित्र हों, उनको जब आप बोलकर आते हैं कि आप 3 घंटे के लिए एक कृष्ण मंदिर में, हरे कृष्ण मंदिर में जा रहे हैं यूथ फेस्टिवल के लिए. अब देखिए, फेस्टिवल है, यूथ फेस्टिवल है, परंतु यहां पर मौजूद आप लोग सब एक ही प्रजाति के हैं, अर्थात एक ही नस्ल के हैं. सभी आप लोग लड़के हैं, है ना. आप लोगों को इस बात का अभी एहसास हो रहा होगा. तो यूथ फेस्टिवल में सिर्फ लड़के, वो भी बाकी सारी चीजें, फरवरी का महीना, सैटरडे नाइट, इत्यादि इत्यादि. और मंदिर में, और ये यूथ फेस्टिवल आयोजित कौन कर रहे हैं? ये रंग जिन्होंने पहना है, बेशरम रंग नहीं. Organized by these saffron-clad monks. What will you expect when coming for a youth festival in a Hare Krishna temple organized by the members and the core, hardcore members of this Hare Krishna movement like us? And then a topic like this with a PowerPoint presentation. भाई, पूरे हफ्ते भर आप लोग कॉलेज में आपके लेक्चर्स, आपके लेक्चरर, प्रोफेसर, उनका चेहरा देख देख कर उब जाते होंगे कि नहीं, है ना, कि कब वीकेंड आएगा और कब छुटकारा मिलेगा एक चीज से, किसी लेक्चर से, है ना, लेक्चर से छुटकारा. अब यहां पर सैटरडे नाइट और इस कार्यक्रम में रंगारंग कार्यक्रम मैं कह सकता हूं, परंतु यहां पर फिर से एक और लेक्चर. परंतु ये सारी चीजें, ऑल ऑफ दिस व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, ऑल ऑफ दीज very amusing, amazing and unconventional things for a youth, if I might use that word. It is all with a twist. Because herein you will find not only enlightenment. Enlightenment means something which will help us become not just a human being, but you will become a worthy, valuable, meaningful human being. So there is entertainment, but that entertainment is with enlightenment. Just like we saw the drama. हमने जो ड्रामा देखा उसके अंदर एक प्रकार से एंटरटेनमेंट का एलिमेंट था, परंतु टेक होम मैसेज वो एक एनलाइटेंड टेक होम मैसेज था. इसीलिए आप कभी इस बात पर प्रश्न मत उठाना कि क्या ये सारी चीजें, ये सारे विषय क्या मेरे इस उम्र के लिए हैं. मैं जो अब मेरे प्राइम ऑफ यूथ में हूं, मैं मेरी जवानी में हूं, मैं मेरी युवावस्था में हूं. क्योंकि भगवत गीता भगवान ने एक युवक को सुनाई थी. अर्जुन कोई बूढ़े बाबा नहीं थे, अर्जुन कोई सन्यासी नहीं थे, अर्जुन कोई विरक्त वैरागी नहीं थे. अर्जुन was very much the prime of his youth, and he was not a person who was a loser. He was a person who was the most successful in his profession. जिन्होंने अपने उस, ये कहेंगे कि उसके व्यवसाय में एक योद्धा होने के नाते उन्होंने ऐसे खिताब हासिल किए थे. तो कई बार लगता है कि मंदिर और ये सारे कार्यक्रम वो अटेंड करते होंगे जो बहुत डिप्रेस्ड होंगे. हाँ, कई बार मैंने सुना है जो आप लोगों की उम्र के, वो जब मंदिर आने की कोशिश करते हैं तो उनके बाकी मित्र बोलते हैं कोई डिप्रेशन में है क्या, ब्रेकअप हो गया क्या, हाँ, कुछ ईयर डाउन लग गया क्या. तो अर्जुन वो अपने न केवल अपने युवावस्था में थे, परंतु युवा अवस्था में उन्होंने जो खिताब हासिल किए थे एक योद्धा होने के नाते, the kind of zenith which he had reached, the pinnacle of his professional career as an accomplished warrior, was unbeatable. He was the one archer, supreme most in the entire planet at that point of time. And he took out time to understand topics like this. From mean life to meaningful life. Nowadays, such kind of topics, we are so much aloof. हम इतने जुदा हैं ऐसे विषयों से, क्योंकि बहुत बार ऐसे विषय जब आप लोगों को किसी ने बताया होगा, आप लोगों में से कितने पहली दफा आ रहे हैं इस कार्यक्रम में, हाथ उठाइए. बहुत से हैं आप लोग जो पहली दफा आ रहे हैं. तो आप लोग इस बात की तस्दीक कर सकते हो कि जब आप लोगों ने किसी को बताया होगा कि चलो मैं आज पहली दफ़ा इस प्रकार के ये इस्कॉन के यूथ फेस्टिवल प्रेरणा में जा रहा हूँ, और कुछ आपको पासेस मिले होंगे या आपने पोस्टर सर्कुलेट हुआ होगा, तो ये टॉपिक फ्रॉम मीन लाइफ टू मीनिंगफुल लाइफ. कई बार आजकल क्या है कि हम लोग जो भी ये कैची मूवी के टाइटल्स होते हैं, इनमें इतने ज़्यादा रचे पचे होते हैं कि इस प्रकार के टॉपिक्स इतने जुदा हैं हम लोग इस प्रकार के टॉपिक से. तो मुझे अब ये जो टॉपिक है पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ सर्कुलेट हुआ, तो एक अनजान व्यक्ति जो मुझे मतलब इस्कॉन से अनजान है, मुझे जानते हैं वो, तो उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा कि ये इसका मतलब क्या है, मतलब थोड़ा हमारी भाषा में हमारे लेवल पर आकर बताइए कि क्या मतलब, ये आपके टॉपिक का मतलब क्या है. तो मैंने कहा भाई मीन लाइफ मतलब नहीं समझते, मीन लाइफ को हिंदी में अनुवाद करें तो खुदगर्ज जीवन, और ये थोड़ा ज्यादा मुश्किल हो गया उसके लिए समझ. स्वार्थी खुदगर्ज जीवन, नहीं समझ में आ रहा था उसको। तो वो बंदा भी आप लोगों की उम्र का था। तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि भाई जो बात इसको आजकल समझ में आए उस हिसाब से मैं बताता हूँ। तो मैंने कहा मीन लाइफ टू मीनिंगफुल लाइफ मतलब बेशरम रंग से सत्संग। हाँ, उसने बोला अब समझ में आ गया। तो क्या इसके मायने हैं? What does it entail to even delve into a subject like this? Mean life. I'll begin with one parable. एक छोटी सी कहानी। कुछ कहानियां आज सुनाऊंगा मैं आपको, क्योंकि मैं जानता हूं कि सिर्फ फिलॉसफी और वो उस प्रकार का लेक्चर बहुत हैवी जाने वाला है। इसलिए बीच बीच में हम कुछ कहानियां लेंगे, और ऐसी ऐसी कहानियां जो कि हमें कुछ सीख दे। केवल किस्से कहानियां नहीं, केवल मनोहर कहानियां नहीं। Those anecdotes, those examples, I would request everyone over here that you understand the lesson behind all of these little anecdotes or examples which I'll be quoting, and take that home with you. Then this will be the success of all of us, from mean life to leading a meaningful life. So to begin with, a small parable. Two friends, thick friends, they went out on a hunting excursion. शिकार के लिए दोनों दोस्त निकले। अब घने जंगल में, मतलब उन्हें शिकार भी घने जंगल में करना था, तो अकेले दोनों घने जंगल में, alone amidst a dense forest. So as they were trying to look for some prey and trying to exercise their hunting skills, and they were all, loaded with their hunting gear, their hunting boots and, their weapons to hunt for any prey, and, the food and everything else for camping and all of that. All of a sudden, both of them, they never expected, they saw a fully grown tiger. And that fully grown tiger was very close in proximity of these two friends. एक शेर। अब देखिए, एक ऐसा सिनेरियो है जहां पर आपने शेर को देखा। यहां पर किसी ने असली में किसी शेर को देखा है। मैं जू की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, एक ओपन सफारी टाइप जिसमें देखा है किसी ने। मैं जब पहली दफा लंदन गया था तो वहां पर भक्त लोग हमको लेकर गए थे ओपन सफारी। तो वहां पर ओपन सफारी अर्थात जो जानवर हैं वो लोग सब खुले घूमते हैं, आपको पिंजड़े के अंदर घूमना है ना। कोरोना में यही हो गया था ना, कि जानवर खुले घूम रहे थे, इंसान पिंजड़े में चले गए थे। वो है कोरोना, एक एक्सप्लेनेशन कोरोना का। तो वहां पर मैंने अपनी आंखों से, हम लोग जिस वो वैन में थे, शीशे ऊपर, दरवाजा बंद ऑफ कोर्स, हाँ? तो मैंने पहली दफा अपनी आंखों से सिंह, लायन, मेल लायन, वो भी एक मेल लायन होता ना, पूरा उसका जो बाल दाढ़ी, अगर हम बोले इंग्लिश में उसको मेन बोलते हैं, फुल्ली ग्रोन मेल लायन, वो आया एकदम, और उसका चेहरा और मेरे चेहरे में बस एक इतने एमएम का शीशे का टुकड़ा था, बस वो वैन का कांच, ग्लास, विंडो पेन। और मेरे बगल में थे गौर गोपाल प्रभु। तो उस समय वो इतने फेमस नहीं हुए थे, नहीं तो लायन उस खिड़की में आता। तो अब क्योंकि फौज का बैकग्राउंड है, तो खतरों से खेलने की आदत, ये बोलते हैं ना, आदत से मजबूर। तो खतरों से खेलने की आदत थी। तो इतने नजदीक मैंने कभी किसी लायन का मुंह नहीं देखा। मतलब वो पूरा जो विंडो पेन था मेरी तरफ का, वो पूरा उसके इतने बड़े चेहरे से कवर हो गया था। और वो देख रहा था कि ये कौन सा जानवर है। मतलब मेरे तो इतने बाल है, और ये भैया, इसके सारे बाल कहाँ गए। तो मैंने धीरे से शीशा नीचे करने के लिए वो लीवर घुमाने लगा कि क्या एक ऐसा एहसास। और जैसे ही मैंने क्या, जितने वो वैन में बैठे थे उन सब की ऊपर की सांस ऊपर रह गई, नीचे की सांस नीचे रह गई। हमारे गौर गोपाल प्रभु चैंटिंग इतना जोर से करने लगे कि मानो साक्षात नरसिंह भगवान अवतरित हो जाएंगे अभी। सो द पॉइंट विच आई एम मेकिंग, यू लुकिंग एट अ टाइगर is one thing, and a tiger looking at you, it's another story. जैसे होता ना, कोई चोर है पुलिस को देख रहा है, वो एक बात है, लेकिन पुलिस चोर को देख ले, ये बहुत ही अलग बात है. So what happened to these two friends, that they spotted a tiger, but more scary and more horrific than that was when the tiger spotted them. So you know what happened then? Now they had only few seconds to respond. आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, एक है फ्लाइट और फाइट रिस्पॉन्स. तो क्या किया जाए अभी? और ऐसा तो नहीं है कि वो टाइगर इन दोनों को देखने के बाद पूछेगा तो जिंदगी कैसी चल रही है, हाय. हमारी इस्कॉन की भाषा में टाइगर ने महाप्रसादे गोविंदे गाना शुरू कर दिया कि भाई मेरा महाप्रसाद, और एक एक प्लेट नहीं, दो दो प्लेट है, डबल सर्विंग. Now on a serious note, you know, this is the time when the real metal of a person, when the real character of a person is seen. So what happened? As soon as the tiger was preparing, the predator was preparing. यहां पर क्या होगा, क्या हुआ? शिकारी खुद शिकार बन रहा है. अब ये तो शिकारी बनकर गए थे, अब शिकार बनने वाले हैं. So as the tiger was preparing to pounce upon them, one of them, he immediately took out his backpack and started to change from his hunting boots to running shoes. मतलब इमेजिन करो कि सामने शेर, वो अपनी पूरी तैयारी में अभी पंजा मारने के लिए, हमला करने के लिए, और यहाँ पर ये बंदा ये बैकपैक निकाल रहा है, उसमें से रनिंग शूज निकाल रहा है, अपने हंटिंग बूट्स चेंज कर रहा है रनिंग शूज से। तो बगल वाला, भैया तू कर क्या रहा है ये? मतलब ये इस समय तू ये सब चेंजेस, मतलब तू, मतलब तेरा प्लान क्या है कि तू क्या इससे भागकर अपने आप को बचा लेगा जस्ट बिकॉज यू आर पुटिंग ऑन रनिंग शूज? यू थिंक, द अदर फ्रेंड आस्क्ड हिम, यू थिंक दैट यू कैन आउटरन दिस टाइगर जस्ट बिकॉज यू विल बी हैविंग रनिंग शूज? Listen to the answer to this of this friend. He said, "No, my dear friend." My dear friend भी बोल रहा है वो. No, my dear friend. My plan is not to outrun the tiger. My plan is to outrun you. Because both of us, we have to run for our life now. And the tiger will pounce upon one of us at a time. This is called mean life. क्या है? बेशरम रंग. When one only thinks of oneself. इसलिए मैं अक्सर कहता हूं कि हम लोग इस मनुष्य जीवन में अपना जीवन बेहतर करना चाहते हैं ना, है कि नहीं? आप लोग सब जो भी कॉलेज में हो, किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में हो, जो भी कोर्सेज कर रहे हैं, कोई भी करियर, आपके एम्बिशंस वगैरह, आप लोग आपका जीवन बेहतर करना चाहते हैं, है कि नहीं? हम सब इसी फिराक में हैं कि हम हमारा जीवन बेहतर करें. वी शुड बेटर आवर लाइफ. परंतु इसमें थोड़ा सा एक ट्विस्ट यदि मैं ऐड करूं कि मैं अपना जीवन बेहतर करूं, इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, परंतु यदि मैं किसी और का जीवन बेहतर करूं, उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. तो अपना जीवन बेहतर करना, हमारे शास्त्रों में कहते हैं, ये तो पशु भी करते हैं. दे आर ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू मेक देयर लाइफ्स बेटर देन वॉट इट इज राइट नाउ, वॉट इट वॉज येस्टरडे, सम और द अदर. एक कुत्ता गली का जो घूम रहा है ना, वो भी कल की एक रोटी से कुछ ज्यादा रोटियां ही ढूंढ रहा है. तो मैं किसी का बेहतर कर सकूं, वहां से शुरुआत होती है किसकी? मीनिंगफुल लाइफ की. नाउ सिंस मोस्ट ऑफ यू आर कॉलेज गोइंग स्टूडेंट्स और यूथ, और all of us, we have experienced going to college. So what is the difference between life in general and college life? है ना, उसको भी कॉलेज लाइफ बोलते हैं ना. तो लाइफ और कॉलेज लाइफ. इन कॉलेज यू आर टॉट अ लेसन एंड देन गिवन अ टेस्ट. इन लाइफ यू आर गिवन अ टेस्ट दैट टीचेस यू अ लेसन. देखो, दिस इज नॉट जस्ट प्ले ऑफ वर्ड्स. वक्त और हमारे टीचर में अंतर क्या है? टीचर जो है पहले सिखाती है या सिखाता है, और फिर इम्तिहान वो लेते हैं. सिखाने के पश्चात इम्तिहान लिया जाता है, और जिंदगी वो हमें इम्तिहान पे इम्तिहान देती रहती है और उससे हमें सबक सिखाती है. अब देखिए, जब मेरे ज़माने में, हो सकता है कि आजकल के दौर में भी ये कुछ देखा जाता होगा, कि जब कोई बड़े शहर में किसी कॉलेज में किसी को एडमिशन मिलता, किसी विद्यार्थी को, और मान लो, इमेजिन इफ समवन फ्रॉम से 40 गांव, लासल गांव और those remote places, going to Mumbai, Sydenham College, or VJTI or IIT, something like that, gets admission. तो होता क्या है कि माँ बाप छोड़ने जाते हैं, कितना सुधरा संवरा सा होता है ना, क्योंकि मैंने वहाँ पे बहुत प्रचार किया मुंबई में ये सारे कॉलेजेस में, और मैं देखता था कि जो इस एरिया से आए हुए, रिमोट, जलगांव, गांव, सबका नाम वो एंड भी गांव से होता था, 40 गांव, जलगांव, लासलगांव, गांव से आए हुए उधर, और सुधरे संवरे हुए, मतलब बाल भी ऐसे कटा के आते थे जैसे मोची से कटा के आ रहे हैं बाल। और उनके हॉस्टल रूम में शुरुआत के दिनों में अगरबत्ती का पैकेट होता था, हाँ, और पैराशूट तेल की शीशी, एक पैराशूट तेल आता है, वो पैराशूट तेल की शीशी और अगरबत्ती। लेकिन फिर 3-4 साल बाद अगरबत्ती के धुएं के बदले कुछ और धुआं शुरू हो जाता है, और पैराशूट की शीशी के बदले कुछ दूसरी शीशियां वहां पर दिखाई देती है। तो बोलता है क्या है कि वक्त और टीचर, इन दोनों की जरूरत है हमें, कि हमारे जिंदगी में हमें सीखना है और फिर इम्तिहान देना है, और अक्सर जिंदगी हमें समय नहीं देगी सीखने के लिए, परंतु इम्तिहान पे इम्तिहान के पश्चात हमें वो सबक सिखाएगी। लाइफ, सिंस वी आर ऑन दिस टॉपिक ऑफ लाइफ, बहुत से इसके शब्द होंगे, सिनोनिम्स होंगे, हमारी भाषा में हम बोलते होंगे। कोई कहता है जिंदगी, जीवन, आपकी मराठी में आयुष्य, लाइफ। तो मैंने ना लाइफ का एक एक्रोनिम बनाया है, मेकिंग लाइफ इनटू एन एक्रोनिम, लिविंग इन फुल एंजॉयमेंट, है कि नहीं? वी आर ऑल हंग्री फॉर व्हाट? एंजॉयमेंट। Everything we do, we are trying to somehow or the other culminate that activity in enjoyment. Just like you're all in your college, you're a student, so you're pursuing your academic, but you're not enjoying that right now. Are you enjoying? Like today is Saturday, are you really looking forward Monday morning? When will Monday morning come and I go to my college? I can't wait and look at the beautiful smiling face of my professor. And all those thick fat books. When I open those thick fat books, my whatever medical engineering books, I go in ecstasy. रोमांच होता है जब मेरे कॉलेज की टेक्स्ट बुक्स को मैं छूता भी हूं, और फिर असाइनमेंट्स, एग्जाम्स, ये सारी चीजें। तो क्या है, व्हाट इज देयर इन योर माइंड, कि ये सब के पश्चात जब मुझे मेरी डिग्री मिलेगी और मुझे छुटकारा मिलेगा, किससे? ये सारी पढ़ाई लिखाई से जब छुटकारा मिलेगा, पढ़ाई के बाद लुगाई जब वो मिलेगी, और आजकल तो पढ़ाई के साथ साथ भी मिल सकती है। So when I was a child, I was dying to come out of school and go to college. Why? Because school, more discipline, uniform पहन के जाना है, all of that, and less freedom. So I was dying to come out of school and go to college. When I was in college, I was dying to get the love of my life, because What is the use otherwise? Being in college, especially in the month of February. And then when finally I got the love of my life, I was dying to marry that love of my life. When I married that love of my life, then I was dying to have kids along with her. Then when I had kids, I was dying when they will grow up, so that I can retire. So from school time, I was dying for one thing or the other. I was dying to be in the college. I was dying to get married. I was dying to have kids. I was dying to retire now. Finally, now I am actually dying. And I forgot to live a meaningful life. As a matter of fact, I just said that in few lines. हमारे लिए बस कुछ पंक्तियां ये थी, परंतु ये एक ऐसी जिंदगी आजकल बन गई है जहां पर हमें सोचने पर मजबूर करती है कि मैं किस लिए जी रहा हूं। खुशी ने वादा किया था, हम सब, मैं हैप्पीनेस की बात कर रहा हूं। खुशी ने वादा किया था, मैं 5 दिन में लौट कर आऊंगी, है कि नहीं? हम सब बहुत बार अक्सर इस वादे के सहारे जीते रहते हैं। खुशी ने वादा किया था, 5 दिन बाद मैं लौट कर आऊंगी, परंतु जब मैंने मेरी जिंदगी की किताब खोली तो पता चला कमबख्त जिंदगी 4 दिन की है। तो अब क्या खुशी आएगी, क्या खुशी लौटेगी? 5 दिन का वादा, परंतु यहां पर जिंदगी 4 दिन की। So, when we say enjoyment is inseparable part of we human beings, we are not against enjoyment. Our Srila Prabhupada used to say that in Krishna consciousness, we teach you the right kind of enjoyment. So we are all pleasure seeking. We are all looking for khushi, enjoyment. But just like over here, we are having this entire session or this entire festival, which is not just full of so much enjoyment, but meaningful enjoyment. It is not just TikTok enjoyment. Because even if you try to watch hundreds of TikTok reels and shorts, during that time of watching all those TikTok reels and shorts, there is the time factor which is also making a sound. Tick tock, tick tock. घड़ी जो है ना, कौन सी? हमारे जिंदगी की घड़ी, जो काल चक्र है, उसका भी आवाज कैसा है? टिक टॉक, टिक टॉक. So therefore, I say that life should also be what? Along with living in full enjoyment or the right kind of enjoyment, life also should be full enlightenment. So, I'll offer in front of you membership of 2 kinds of clubs. होता है ना, बहुत से क्लब्स का मेंबरशिप आपको इस प्रकार के ऑफर्स दिए जाते हैं, अलग अलग क्लब्स होते हैं उसकी मेंबरशिप. तो 2 क्लब है. Let's see. One is called the ice cream club. Okay. And one is called the candle club. Mombatti. So what happens in an ice cream club, what is the motto of members of the ice cream club? The motto of members of an ice cream club is enjoy this ice cream before it melts. तो आपने देखा होगा कि जब आइसक्रीम कोई अपने हाथ में लेता है तो ज्यादा देर तक रुकता नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि ज्यादा रुकेगा तो आइसक्रीम पिघलने लगेगी, और जैसे आइसक्रीम पिघलने लग गई तो फिर उसका कोई मजा नहीं आएगा. So this is one kind of club wherein members of this club, they think life is like this ice cream. Keep enjoying, keep enjoying, keep enjoying. क्योंकि जैसे ही बुढ़ापा आने शुरू हो जाएगा तो क्या सब कुछ गलने लगेगा, हर चीज गलने लगेगी. तो ये शरीर गलने से पहले एंजॉय कर लो आइसक्रीम क्लब. But then, when we talk of the candle club members, they want to melt. And while melting, just like ice cream melts, similarly a candle also melts. But the melting candle enlightens others. It lights up. It makes a dark room enlightened. And that is something which is, we can say, from mean life to meaningful life. From being members of ice cream club to becoming members of this melting, enlightening candle club. So now you can decide within yourself that which club membership do you want. Because outside, everyone is advertising and promoting to become member of the ice cream club. But when you come for events like this, for sessions like this, over here we are trying to teach all of you that just if you have one taste of experience of what it takes to become a sacrificial candle by which you can enlighten someone else by enlightening oneself first. And then you see the difference, the kind of satisfaction which you'll get in your heart is uncomparable. When you do something, वो एक पुराना एक ऐसे गीत लिखे जाते थे, किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द हो सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है. सोचिए कि एक वो दौर था, एक वो जमाना था जब इस प्रकार के गीत लिखे जाते थे. न कि बेशरम रंग. So let's go a little more into what is mean life. Some salient points. खुदगर्ज जीवन क्या किस प्रकार का होता है? Knowledge without character. So yes, everyone wants to become educated, learned, knowledgeable. But how many institutes, how many institutions, and I'm talking about educational institutions, which talk about what? Character. You know, my first assignment when I joined as a monk in ISKCON, that was in Mumbai, as a preacher, was to go to preach to school-going students, 8th, 9th, 10th, secondary school. And value education, that time value education was made compulsory in Maharashtra, and all the schools, they had to teach value education. So they didn't have any teachers, so they approached us. The school approached us. And I was the new recruit as a monk, so I was sent. And I prepared some lessons based on the Bhagavad Gita, and one of the lessons I was teaching, and it was on this topic, humility. So for 1 hour, and this is 10 standard students, like, in their 14, 15 years of age. And I was talking about humility, and none of them understood anything about this particular quality which one should imbibe, called humility. And after 1 hour, I was seeing that they were looking at me like, which language are you speaking, by the way? And there were some backbenchers making some noise. So after 1 hour of talking about humility, I hope you understand humility, the word. After 1 hour, because ऐसा भी हो सकता है मैं 15 मिनट ह्यूमिलिटी बोल रहा हूँ, फिर पता चला कि यहीं दिया तले अंधेरा है. तो वो बैक बेंचर्स को मैंने उठाया, मैंने बोला कि ओके, सो व्हाट्स योर नेम? So they told their name. So I asked one of them, so what are we discussing today? What is the topic for discussion? So one of them realized कि he's put on spot. So he said, sir, humidity. But the most funniest part was nobody laughed. Now, what could be more insulting than that for me? That nobody laughed. Which means, सब लोगों को लगा सही आंसर दिया है. So again I asked, are you sure we were discussing humidity? I asked the other one, so he realized that he screwed up. So he had to come up with another answer. So he said, sir, humanity. Now this is Mumbai, South Bombay. I'm not talking about, some Juggi Jhopadi school. This is South Bombay kids in Mumbai. So I found out that they didn't even know, they had never come across the word humility. Forget about the quality. Humility, ये उनके conversation में कभी बोला नहीं. So knowledge without character. Ravan is the classic example. Ved में parangat. Ravan, what you must have seen on these TV serials, pot-bellied, always crazily laughing, stupid kind of looking person. No, Ravan was extremely learned, extreme intelligent, high IQ, everything. As far as any material attributes are concerned, good looking, very influential. In fact, when Hanuman saw Ravan first time, Hanumanji was so impressed, and he said, only if this guy would become devotee of Lord Ram, what prabhav he has. But zero character. So this is one of the features of what? Mean life. Knowledge without character. Wealth without work. Now, this is one exercise which I undertook in one of the colleges in Bombay. So they had cleared their high school, they were now entering into college after their HSC, 12th standard. So I asked them, okay, now you are at the brink of choosing which branch, which career will you be taking, say medicine or engineering or whatever else. Imagine at this point of time you get a magical wallet. एक ऐसा बटुआ, जादुई बटुआ, और कैसा है जादुई बटुआ कि जिसमें से जितने पैसे निकालो उतना भरते जाएगा वो. Imagine a magical wallet like that. Now, which career will you choose? Everyone said, what is the use of choosing any career? If ऐसा जादुई बटवा मिल जाए, जितना पैसा निकालो उतना ही भरते जाएगा उसमें से. To hell with career, to hell with medicine, engineering, or all these branches. Wealth without working. Everyone wants all this. You see advertisements also. You don't have to pay anything. You'll get your dream car, your dream house. ऐसे एडवर्टीजमेंट करते ना, कुछ भी भरने की जरूरत नहीं है. तुम्हारा ड्रीम हाउस, ड्रीम कार, ड्रीम गर्ल, सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. बट बाद में फिर लास्ट में ना कंडीशंस अप्लाई, वो एकदम छोटे से फॉन्ट में होता है वो नीचे, है ना. एक बंदे ने भगवान से मिन्नतें मांगी भगवान से कि भगवान मुझे अगले जन्म में एक ऐसा पेशा देना जहां पर मुझे कुछ ना करना पड़े, थक गया मैं काम कर करके, ऐसा पेशा कुछ ना करना पड़े, लोग आए अपना अपना काम करें, मुझे पैसे देकर जाए. भगवान ने कहा तथास्तु. सुलभ शौचालय में उसको नौकरी मिली, है ना. सुलभ शौचालय में जो बंदा बैठा रहता है, कुछ नहीं करता है वो. उसने क्या मांगा था? मुझे कुछ नहीं करना पड़े, लोग आए अपना अपना काम करें, मुझे पैसे देकर जाएं. तो लोग आते अपना अपना काम करते, इसको चवन्नी देकर जाते. तो ये जो मेंटालिटी, ये कौन सी मेंटालिटी है? सुलभ शौचालय वाली मेंटालिटी. वेल्थ विदाउट वर्क, बिजनेस विदाउट एथिक्स. अब इसके बारे में जो बोले सो कम, कि बिजनेस में एथिक्स, इट्स लाइक ऑक्सीमोरॉन. यू नो ऑक्सीमोरॉन? ऑक्सीमोरॉन क्या है? कि शी इज प्रिटी अगली. अरे कहना क्या चाहते हो? प्रिटी एंड अगली. There was a small crowd. Again, oxymoron. That person is happily married. Oxymoron. So business without ethics, which means, like in our childhood, there was this story of a farmer. He, every day, it was a time when the barter system was there. Barter system. So this farmer, he had his own produce and he had cows and dairy products. So he would take a pound of butter or a kilo of butter he would take and go to the baker, the bakery shop of his village. And he would give that 1 pound of butter, and in lieu of that, the baker would give 1 pound of bread to this farmer. One day, the baker realized that it seems that, this pound of butter doesn't weigh like 1 pound. I should check. He has been giving me for a long time this 1 pound of butter, and I've been giving him 1 pound of bread. So he checked, he weighed, and it was less than 1 pound. And then he realized, my God, I've been cheated for so long. So he went, he filed a case. The case was put forth in front of the judge. And the judge asked the farmer that you have been accused of delivering less of what you are supposed to deliver to this baker. So the baker said, see sir, I am illiterate, I don't know, I don't have any weighing scale. So how do you make sure that you are giving 1 pound of butter to this baker? He said, see, he gives me the bread of the same weight. What I do, I put that bread on one side और जितना उसका वजन है उतना ही मैं उसको बटर दे रहा हूं। मुझे लगा ये मुझे 1 पाउंड का ब्रेड दे रहा है। तो इसमें मुजरिम कौन निकला, दोषी कौन था? वो बेकर, कि वो 1 पाउंड से कम का ब्रेड दे रहा था, ये उसको ही तौल के उसी में से उसका 1 पाउंड निकाल के बटर दे रहा था। So when we talk of business, there has to be ethics in business, which makes life meaningful. Science without ecology, and what we are doing in the name of science to ecology, it's a seminar in itself. But the point to be understood, forget about ecology, what science is doing to biology. हाँ? एक है इकोलॉजी और एक है हमारी बायोलॉजी. I read one news some time ago in China. One teenager, he wanted the latest iPhone, which his parents couldn't afford. So one day, he went, he sold one of his kidneys. अपनी किडनी बेच दी आईफोन के लिए. And this is a true story. So forget about ecology. We are missing out on biology in the name of science. Politics without principles. अब इसके बारे में क्या ही बोले हम. As they say that politicians and baby diapers should be regularly changed for the same reason. एक नेता वो भाषण दे रहे थे. अब होता क्या है कि कई बार जो स्पीच होती है वो इतनी मोनोटोनस होती है, कोई और स्क्रिप्ट लिख कर दे देता है. तो वो बहुत बार जो वर्ड्स होते हैं, कुछ वर्ड्स कुछ दूसरे बोलने होते हैं, कुछ और वर्ड्स निकल आते हैं कई बार, क्योंकि कोई कुछ उसके फीलिंग्स तो होते नहीं, इमोशंस तो होते नहीं, कुछ उसका मायना तो रखना नहीं है. तो इसने अपना भाषण शुरू किया. तो दोस्तों, भाइयों बहनों, हम आपकी आपूर्ति की पूर्ति करने आए हैं. तो जिनके घरों में यदि पिता खो चुके हैं तो मुझे अपना पिता मानिए. जिनके घरों में बेटे को खो चुके हैं मुझे अपना बेटा मानिए. भाई को खो चुके हैं मुझे अपना भाई मानिए. पति को खो चुके हैं, नहीं, मेरा मतलब वो नहीं था, लेकिन वो भी था. So mean life entails also politics without principles. Pleasure without responsibility. आज की भाषा में क्या है? live in relationships. और ये live in relationship मैंने पहली दफ़ा जब सुना, मुझे जब पता चला, और फिर मैंने एक मेरे सेमिनार में ये लिव इन रिलेशनशिप के बारे में जब बोलना प्रारंभ किया, तो एक ने पूछा कि सर ये क्या होता है, ये लिव इन रिलेशनशिप क्या होता है. तो मैंने अभी उसको हिंदी में अनुवाद किया. लिव इन रिलेशनशिप का हिंदी अनुवाद है बिन फेरे हम तेरे. So this is pleasure विदाउट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, मतलब मुझे तनख्वाह चाहिए, काम नहीं करना है कि नहीं? इट इज अनदर एस्पेक्ट ऑफ मीन लाइफ. Religion without humanity, when in the name of religion you cultivate hatred towards other fellow human beings. और आप लोग सब समझ रहे हैं मैं किस दिशा में ये बोल रहा हूं आपको, कि जहां पर ये ऐसी मानसिकता, ऐसी कट्टरता कि यदि कोई मेरे मजहब को नहीं मानता तो सरतन से जुदा, सरतन से जुदा. What kind of religion is that then? You know, like different countries, they have their taglines for tourism. जैसे Thailand, the tourism tagline for Thailand is amazing Thailand. The tourism tagline for Indonesia is that, you know, magical Indonesia. Or like for Kenya it is magical Kenya. For Indonesia I think it is wonderful Indonesia. Yeah. For India, incredible India. So, you know, these are the taglines, you know, amazing Thailand, wonderful Indonesia, magical Kenya. पाकिस्तान का भी है कुछ. तो उन्होंने बहुत सोचा कि अरे सब लोग अपना अपना टूरिज्म का टैगलाइन दे रहे हैं, हमको भी कुछ टैगलाइन देना चाहिए. तो पाकिस्तान ने टैगलाइन दिया, हैव अ ब्लास्ट. और सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं था, हैव अ ब्लास्ट, सी इफ यू लास्ट. सो रिचुअल्स विदाउट पर्पस. अब देखिए बहुत बार लोग हमको प्रश्न पूछते हैं. क्या प्रश्न पूछते हैं? अरे क्या ये आप लोग ये भगवा पहन के, ये तिलक विलक लगा के, ये सब इतना आप लोग दिखावा क्यों करते हैं? ये इतना सब दिखावा करने की क्या जरूरत है? एक बार मुझे किसी ने ये प्रश्न पूछा कि ये सब इतना दिखावा क्यों करते हैं आप? तो मैंने कहा देखिए, हाँ दिखावा नहीं करना चाहिए, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये भी नहीं है कि आप दिखाओ ही नहीं कि आप का जो प्रिंसिपल्स है, फेथ है, वो क्या है. तो अभी जैसे हमारे मंदिर में हम लोग जब आते हैं तो भगवान को प्रणाम करते हैं, तो बहुत लोग एक प्रश्न पूछते हैं कि ये इतना दिखाना क्या है, ये पूरा आप लोग लंबा हो जाते हैं. और एक बात तो उनको समझ में नहीं आती, भगवान इधर है, आप इधर किधर लंबा हो रहे हैं. दंडवत, साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम करते हैं. इतना दिखावटी जीवन क्यों? तो मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल दिया. मैंने कहा कि इमेजिन इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच चल रहा है, सचिन तेंदुलकर या विराट कोहली, विराट कोहली, इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच, खचाखच स्टेडियम भरा हुआ है, 25,000 से 30,000 तक खचाखच स्टेडियम पूरा दर्शकों से भरा हुआ है. विराट कोहली छक्का मारता है, और वो भी ऑलमोस्ट लास्ट ओवर में छक्का मारता है, और कोई ताली नहीं बजाता है. पूरा स्टेडियम स्मशान शांति, कोई ताली नहीं बजाता है. क्यों? दिखाने का क्या है? दिखावटी जीवन नहीं, मन में खुश होना चाहिए. खुशी को मन में रखो. जैसे बोलते ना, मनात देव असायला पाहिजे. तो बाहर क्यों दिखाने का, मन में. तो ताली भी क्यों बजाओ, मन में लड्डू फूट रहे हैं से. विराट कोहली ने छक्का मारा, वो विराट कोहली भी कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा वो पूछेगा रोहित शर्मा मारा क्या, मैंने ही मारा क्या, कोई ताली नहीं बजा रहा है. So rituals definitely should have purpose behind that. Then entertainment without enlightenment. So when there is entertainment and there is no enlightenment after that, then that entertainment leads to what? People like Aftab. He learned all of that, whatever he did, those horrific things, by watching it on the silver screen. And finally, relationships without love. So a young lady got married to an old hag. She, 28 years old, and she got married to someone who was 68 years old. तो जब अब हो सकता है कि अंधा प्यार, तो उसको जब पूछा गया कि भाई क्या देखा इस बूढ़े में, तूने क्या देखा इस बूढ़े में, तो उसने कहा दो चीजें, एक तो इसकी इनकम और दूसरे इसके दिन कम. Now this is a new term which I got to know. Like, in marriage there is something called monogamy. When someone gets married to one person, then there is polygamy. Now there is a new term, thanks to the modernistic lifestyle, there is a new term called sologamy. और ये सुन के आप लोग जहाँ जहाँ बैठे हैं हिल न जाएं, ये क्या नए चीज़ हैं आजकल, सोलोगैमी. सो सोलोगैमी मीन्स एक ब्राज़ीलियन मॉडल, शी डिड दिस. सो शी वॉज इन सच twisted relationships for so long, so many breakups, that finally she decided that I'll marry myself. सोलोगैमी, खुद से शादी कर ली उसने, तो न ब्रेकअप का झंझट, तो खुद से ही शादी कर ली और बाकायदा पूरा मैरिज सेरेमनी. एंड इफ यू गूगल इट, देयर इज दिस टर्म कॉल्ड सोलोगैमी, मैरिंग वन सेल्फ, कि कोई झंझट ही नहीं है. नो डिप्रेशन, नो ब्रेकिंग हार्ट्स, नो फाइट्स, नथिंग. अच्छा, अब ये ब्राजीलियन मॉडल ने, इसने जब खुद से शादी कर ली, तो बहुत साल बाद इसको फाइनली इसका प्रिंस चार्मिंग मिल गया, मिस्टर राइट, कि हाँ अब इससे फाइनली मेरी शादी मैं कर सकती हूं. तो अब खुद को डिवोर्स भी दिया. इसको आज की भाषा में बोलते हैं पागल पंताई की पराकाष्ठा. खुद से शादी करी, खुद को डिवोर्स दिया. Now this is what is happening, relationships without love. So when we talk of then meaningful life, something pleasant should come out, and something which is beyond just my selfish life. जैसे मैंने कहा, खुद का बेहतर या दूसरों का बेहतर, मैं अपना जीवन बेहतर करूं या दूसरों के लिए मैं बेहतर बनूं. टू बी हैप्पी विदाउट बीइंग सक्सेसफुल. लाइक when the Beatles, they were asked, this was John Lennon, when he was asked as a child, when he was asked, he was part of the Beatles, that what do you want to become when you grow up? Very wonderfully he wrote, ma'am, when I grow up, I want to be happy. And it's a very profound statement. Like, There was this one parable in our childhood of a woodcutter, Every morning he would go to cut woods in the forest. And after cutting woods, early in the morning he would leave. After cutting woods till noon, then he would, put all the wood together. Then he would have his lunch. And then he would take rest under a shaded tree for a couple of hours. So a city dweller saw him. So the city dweller asked, "Don't you think you are wasting so much manpower of yours? You could earn so much, you could become so much successful." And he asked, what do you mean? So the city dweller, he said, "See, you are wasting your time sleeping in the afternoon. Why don't you cut wood, more wood, using up that time?" So he asked, "Then what?" "Oh, then you can sell all of that extra wood. You can make extra money. Then what? You can become a timber merchant. Then what? Then you don't have to cut wood. You will have a timber business. People will be there for you to cut wood. Then what? Then what? Then you can relax." तो बोला, "अभी क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? घूम फिर के मुझे रिलैक्स ही करना है. मैं अभी रिलैक्स ही कर रहा हूं ना. इतना घूम फिर के, इतना सब करके, इतना जद्दोजहद करके, फाइनली तुम मुझे बोल रहे हो कि रिलैक्स करो." So, to be happy without being successful, to be rich without possessing wealth. Nowadays, money is something by hook or by crook. In fact, there were philosophers like Karl Marx who wrote, when I was reading about different philosophies, I came across Karl Marx. He said, by hook or by crook, somehow or the other earn money, beg, borrow or steal. And he said that even if you are the ugliest person on this planet Earth, but if you have money, you can buy or you can possess the most beautiful partners for yourself. So consequently, are you ugly? Even if you are stupid, ignoramus fool, but if you have money, you can have the most educated people work for you, under you. Consequently, are you a stupid, illiterate fool? No. Even if you are crippled, handicapped, but if you have money, you can employ the most able-bodied person to work for you, under you, which means consequently, are you crippled? Are you handicapped? No. So the conclusion is, by hook or by crook, somehow have money. Because money is sweeter than honey. Why? Because honey, you have to physically put in your mouth, then only. Just by looking at the bottle of honey, you won't get the sweetness. But money, simply, it's there in your bank. And just having that feeling that you have that will give you goosebumps, they say. So, to be rich without possessing means, like one philosopher, he said, that how rich you are, if you want to know, go back to your house or wherever you live and count everything what you have which money cannot buy. The things or the pleasures which money cannot buy, that's how rich you are. But if everything and everyone can be bought in the name of pleasure, then that is not real happiness. That is not real richness. And therefore I say that some people are so poor that the only thing they have is money. Think about that. This is one kind of homework for you. Then, experience freedom in regulation. Last month, there was this kite festival in Makar Sankranti. You observe a kite. Now the kite soars up high in the sky because of what? Because of, what do we call that? Manja. And because it is tied to that, it appears as if it is regulating the kite. But because of that, if somebody thinks, oh my God, why this kite has to be regulated with that thread? So let me cut the thread. You cut the thread and then what do you see? The kite is then having no flight of its own, but rather it is just, kind of dwindling away in oblivion and later on to be snatched and looted by others. So experience freedom in regulation. To become wise without a degree. Now, having a degree, definitely one should pursue that. But there is a difference between having a degree and becoming wise. Because wisdom is something which goes beyond. Just like I always give this example that during my interview for in the SSB, as was getting selected as fighter pilot. So there was this question asked to me, can you drop an egg on a concrete floor without breaking it? You have only 3 minutes. Can you drop an egg on a concrete floor without breaking it? So I thought for a while. I said, yes, sir, I can do that. So they got an egg. I held the egg and I released it. And obviously what happened? The egg fell on that concrete floor and definitely the egg broke. So the officer asked me, so what's your point? I said, sir, you asked me the question, can I drop an egg on the concrete floor without breaking it? You didn't mention the egg or the floor. नहीं समझ में आया? You can watch Pogo. So, one soap company, one famous branded soap company, they had this one issue that some of their soap boxes, through the assembly line in the production, the factory, in the assembly line, some of the soap boxes were coming out empty, without soap. And the customers, they lodged a complaint. So it was a big issue. Their reputation was at stake. So there was a board meeting and then they decided that, okay, we'll have to have a machinery, the most high-tech machinery, which can scan through every box, every soap box, make sure that none of the soap box is going empty. Now what happened was that after some time, that whatever scanner they had, which they spent crores of rupees in that, it conked off. So it was not functioning and they can't stop the production. So what to do? So one ordinary worker of that company, he said, क्या आप लोग इतना बड़ा आप लोग पढ़ाई लिखाई किया है, इंजीनियरिंग किया है, ये किया है, वो किया है, और अभी आप लोग माथा खुजा रहा है कि इसका सॉल्यूशन क्या है? हम बताता है क्या सॉल्यूशन है? वो पंखा लेके आया, वो जहाँ से असेंबली लाइन से सोप बॉक्स जाता था, पंखा रख दिया, 500 रुपए का पंखा रख दिया, खाली डब्बा उड़ के जाएगा. Now, this is called wisdom beyond one's degree. To live without karmic bondage. Again, the Mahabharata war. Arjun was shooting arrows, Duryodhan was also. But with each arrow, Arjun was liberating himself because he was doing for dharma under the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Duryodhan, with every blow, with every attack, he was incriminating himself more and more into the karmic bondage to contribute something meaningful before dying. Now, this is something which is the crux of our human form of life. If we have lived our life without contributing something to the society, to begin with our own self, to begin with our own near and dear ones, our family, to begin with the society, to the nation, to this land of dharma. यदि मरने से पहले हमने अपने तरफ से यदि कुछ योगदान नहीं दिया तो हमारा वो जीवन ही व्यर्थ रहा. Which means व्यर्थ जीवन अर्थात mean life, not meaningful life. So therefore I say, don't be scared by this. Let's attend our own funeral. Hey. ये कैसी भूतिया चीज बता रहे हैं आप? No, it's a very serious thing. Imagine you somehow or the other are able to attend your own funeral. What would you want? When people are attending your own funeral, what would you want? Those people to talk about you. जैसे एक गांव का मुखिया था, वो जमींदार भी था, मुखिया भी था, सरपंच भी था. उसका कुत्ता मर गया. जब उस गांव के मुखिया का कुत्ता मर गया, पूरा गांव आया फ्यूनरल में. क्यों? क्योंकि सब लोग कुत्ते के लिए नहीं आए, मुखिया का कुत्ता है. डर क्या है? एक महीने बाद मुखिया मर गया, कुत्ता भी नहीं आया. So the criterion for who, just like for a leader also, who is a successful leader, or for that matter, even when you are in a friend circle, we are talking about here someone who makes a difference in someone's life. The success of a very true leader is, when this question is asked, that the two kind of questions. One is, when people under him are frustrated, they ask this question, when is he going to leave? Same is with life also. When people are frustrated by you, अरे यार कब पिंड छूटेगा इससे, कब मरेगा ये? Mean life. Meaningful life means when people ask, अरे why did he leave? That is called meaningful life. So my dear friends, tonight I want to culminate our discussion with a very heart-wrenching story. It's a true story. When I was in the Indian Air Force, and we had a different kind of training called the counter-intelligence training. And this is a training when, in case if you are supposed to act as an Indian spy. Nowadays people talk so much about spy and spy movies and all of that. So when you have to, and this was back then when we were undergoing this training, so there was this one, you can say he was the one Indian spy who was given the title of the Black Tiger by the then Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi, for the kind of services, sacrifices which he had rendered to our motherland, India. And this gentleman, we must have never heard of this person. Major Ravindra Kaushik, he was given the title the Black Tiger. He was India's one of the greatest spy, and he became major in Pakistan army. Do you want to listen to his story? Yes. And this is a true thriller, by the way. In fact, first time when I was in my younger days, when I heard this story, which was narrated to us as an example of who are and who were the true patriots of our country, जिसको हम कहेंगे कि नायक और महानायक हमारे देश के These were the unsung heroes. We are not talking about those, fake heroes who simply try to usurp all the money in the name of entertainment from all of us, but we are talking about the real heroes of our country. Practically, any of the youth I have come across, none of them had ever heard about this gentleman, this patriot, this raw agent of our country called Major Ravindra Kaushik. So Ravindra Kaushik, he was born in the state Rajasthan, place called Sri Ganganagar. In the year 1952, 11th of April, he was born. And in an ordinary family, going to an ordinary college, a BCom graduate, but good looking, and he was very much interested in acting. In fact, he would do mono acting. And in mono acting, most of the roles, जितने भी किरदार ये रविंद्र कौशिक निभाते थे, वो किस चीज का निभाते थे? जैसे भगत सिंह, शहीद भगत सिंह बन गए. And he would perform mono acting of Shahid Bhagat Singh or Chandrasekhar Azad and such kind of patriots. So he was very much in that spirit of all these martyrs. ये सारे शहीदों के जज्बे के साथ वो अपना मोनो एक्टिंग करते थे. So he was giving a performance in Lucknow, and this was after his graduation. Good looking guy, good at the gift of gab in speech. So one raw agent, he spotted him, and he was following him, that this person, he has everything in him, all the potential in him to become one of the greatest spies for India to be sent to Pakistan. And in the year 73, he was recruited in RAW. I hope everyone knows about RAW. So he was recruited in RAW in 1973. In fact, I was born in 1973. That time he was recruited in RAW. आप लोग तो पिछले जन्म में होंगे, पता नहीं. Now, he had a very close-knit family, loving parents. In fact, his father, Mr. Kaushik, his father was an Air Force officer. That's one of the reasons why this was narrated to us, being in Air Force. So his father was a commissioned officer in the Indian Air Force. And loving mother, he had an elder sister, younger brother, another sister. So like a nice, close-knit, loving family. But the condition was, if you are recruited in RAW as an agent, as a spy, you are not allowed to reveal that secret to anyone, including anyone in your family. So he kept that as a secret. He underwent training in Amritsar, wherein the training was, he had to learn Urdu because he was supposed to be sent to Pakistan. He had to learn Urdu and all the terms and different lingos of that country and the religion which that country follows. In fact, to the extent that he was even circumcised. Khatna hua unka. So that he can become and pose himself as an authentic Pakistani. And then there was a time, 2 years the training went on. 1975, Mr. Kaushik, with all the credibles to enter Pakistan, he was now set to leave India to go to Pakistan. He is at home, and his elder sister could sense that there is something on his face which doesn't look right. कुछ तो है जो कि अलग है, कुछ तो है जो कि ये बोलना चाहता है, कुछ तो परेशानी जो इसको अंदर से अंदर खा रही है. जो उनकी बड़ी बहन, उन्होंने कुछ सेंस किया, लेकिन क्योंकि वादा दिया है इस देश को कि नहीं, ये चीज़ मैं किसी को नहीं बताऊंगा और देश के लिए. He didn't tell where he's going. He left. And from Ravindra Kaushik, he first became Nabi Ahmad Shakir. That was his name. He entered into Pakistan as a Pakistani citizen. And there, in Karachi University, he started to study law. For 2 years, he studied law. He became a graduate in law. And you won't believe this, that this Hindustani becoming from Ravindra Kaushik to Nabi Ahmad Shakir, becoming a law student, a law graduate, and then he enters the Pakistani army. He, as a commissioned officer in Pakistani army, no one has any clue in Pakistan that who this gentleman is. And not just entering the Pakistani army, but becoming a major in Pakistani army. And giving all the valuable information to RAW, to the Indian government. So much so that at that time, when Pakistan was planning an atomic nuclear attack on India, and they were planning all of that, he was giving all the vital information, जो खुफिया जानकारी, वो सब मेजर नबी अहमद शकीर के द्वारा आ रही थी. Now there is an emotional part to this also. He was young, he was only 23 years old, and at that point of time, he fell in love with a local Pakistani girl called Amanat. And at that point of time, when he was having feelings for her and she was having also genuine feelings for him, but he couldn't tell her who he is. And there was some kind of relationship which triggered off between both of them, between Ravindra Kaushik and this girl, Pakistani girl called Amanat. And by the way, this is not just, some movie plot. This is a real story. Maybe movies are made on this plot, but this is the real story I'm telling you. His brother is about to get married, for which he has to come to India. He tells to RAW that if I don't come to India, they'll be suspicious. By the way, they don't have any clue where he is. So the story is told to them that he's in Dubai and he gets gifts for his brother's marriage. And then when he's asked, he's pressurized to get married now, he tells to his father that, I'm sorry to inform you that I'm already married to one girl called Amanat, and she's a Muslim. And herein, Kaushik family, which means he's from a Brahmin family. And it was like shock of their life. And he said, it's not just that I'm married to her, I also have a kid from her. A bigger shocker. And they couldn't handle this. And he had to leave. And then it was told, by the RAW agency to him, that if you want to make sure that nobody questions you, that you remain above suspicion in Pakistan as an Indian spy, you have to get married to a Pakistani lady. So he was told that, you have to try for that. Now, the next is try for getting married to a Pakistani lady over there, a Muslim lady. They not knowing that he was already in love with this Amanat. And then he gets married to her. Just imagine that a genuine person like him, he was not allowed to reveal his identity to her. Because he considered that she's innocent. He considered her as a very genuine human being whom he loved and she loved back to him. Now, after spending almost 10 to 11 years over there as a major in Pakistani army and giving all these vital information, one day RAW sends another low-level spy to get another vital information from Ravindra Kaushik. This guy is sent to Pakistan. His name is Inayat Masih. He comes to Pakistan. But somehow or the other, the ISI, the Pakistani intelligence agency, nabs him. His cover is blown. Whose cover? Inayat. His cover is blown. He's caught and he's taken into interrogation. And he cannot keep, the secret within himself, and he spills out. He spills the beans to the ISI. He even tells about Nabi Ahmad Shakir, who is in the Pakistani army as a major. What happens? From a reputed soldier in the Pakistani army and an Indian spy working for India for so long, the next day he's thrown into prison. And that too, not ordinary prison. इसको कहते हैं solitary confinement. And my dear friends, the condition for anyone who is a raw agent going into a country like Pakistan as an Indian spy, the condition is that if your cover is blown, if you are caught, if you are exposed, then we disown you. Who will disown? The Indian government will disown you. Can you imagine? You practically sacrifice everything of your life, your family, your emotions, your feelings, your body, your comforts, everything, to know that at one point of time, for the person you are doing everything for will disown you. That's what happened. He was on his own in Imagine, in Pakistan jail, and he was tortured, inhuman, जिसको कहते हैं कि अमानवीय अत्याचार इनके ऊपर हुआ. He was tied. His two hands and his two legs were tied all the time so that he couldn't sleep. खौलता हुआ पानी, क्या कुछ नहीं डाला गया, electric current, just to take out all the information, whatever he has given to Indian government. But he didn't divulge a single secret. He didn't open his mouth. For 3 years, he was beaten black and blue in that solitary confinement, and finally, he was given life imprisonment. And when he was imprisoned, at that point of time, he wrote one letter to his father in Urdu, because his father knew how to read Urdu. When his father, after so many years, he found out that his son is in Pakistan, and that too in Pakistan jail, his father had a heart attack and he died. The other members, they didn't know that why he died, what happened. And after many years later, after that, then they got a letter from him when he was inflicted with tuberculosis there in the jail of Pakistan. Nobody there to come for his rescue. He didn't even know whether his family, where they are. So that time in Suratgarh, there was this radio program which would go on, which in Pakistan, they would run that radio program. And it was called Mitti Ki Khushbu. So only this program, the Pakistani government over there, they would run it. So he knew. So he wrote to his family members that kindly, one of you come on this radio show. Because that time there was no internet. I'm talking about in the 80s. So one of you come on these radio shows and at least I'll know that how are you. And his niece, sister's daughter, she came on that radio show, and she, in a very clandestine way, she told about, the whereabouts of the family members, and just knowing that one, small news about his family, he was in tears. And he wrote to them then that please send some money. Why he wanted money? So that he could give to the jailer. There was one jailer who had some soft corner for him. So that he could give to that jailer, so that that jailer can at least give him some cooked chapati. He didn't even have cooked chapati to eat every day. At least I can get some firewood in the winter season to keep myself warm. And then the last letter which he wrote to his mother, to his family members, that I'm suffering from tuberculosis. If you can, because over here they are not giving me any medicines. They have just thrown me to rot in this prison and to die like this. Please send some medicine. And this was 2001. He died in the month of November of tuberculosis. Nobody knowing, nobody had any clue that we have one shaheed, one martyr, who practically, we are talking about what? Meaningful life, who gave up everything, whatever he had. In fact, the love of his life, that amanat, he said, in fact, in his letters and the kind of journals which he wrote, in that he writes that one of the regrets I'm having, yes, I'm proud that I did this for my country. And here is a person, sometimes, when soldiers, when they are fighting, at the front line, or there when they die, everyone knows about, their martyrdom. उनकी शहादत के बारे में सबको पता लगता है. बट यहाँ पर पाकिस्तानी जेल में सड़ कर मर जाना और कोई क्लेम नहीं कर रहा है, जिसके लिए तुमने शहादत दी, वीरगति को प्राप्त हुए, वो भी नहीं बोल पा रहे हैं कि ये हमारा बंदा है. जब कोई वर्दीधारी सैनिक वो जब बॉर्डर पर मरता है, अपना बलिदान देता है, तो वहाँ पर उसको उस प्रकार की शहादत मिलती है, उसको उस प्रकार का चक्र, परमवीर चक्र या जो भी उसको वो मेडल्स मिलते हैं. परंतु यहाँ पर कोई नहीं, उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स को भी पता नहीं था. तो इसलिए ये जो ऐसे, जिसको कहेंगे कि जिन्होंने मीन लाइफ तो छोड़ दीजिए, हमारा अंतिम आज का मुद्दा क्या था? कंट्रीब्यूट बिफोर यू डाई इन दिस लाइफ टाइम. इसलिए ये ऐसे जो शहीद हुए हमारे देश के लिए, जिन्होंने अपना सब कुछ, अपना कतरा कतरा इस देश के लिए दे दिया, तो हम कहना चाहेंगे, मत पूछ जमाने से कि क्या है मेरी कहानी. ये कौन कह रहे हैं? मेजर रविंद्र कौशिक. मत पूछ जमाने से क्या है मेरी कहानी, बस यही है मेरी पहचान कि मैं हूं एक हिंदुस्तानी. I had my batchmate, very close friend of mine. He's no more. He's also another person who martyred his life for this motherland of ours. His name, squadron leader Chinmay Rastogi. And a very loving person, always smiling. And he wrote few lines which really touched my heart when he was sent for the Kargil war. In fact, that was the time when I had joined ISKCON, and one of the regrets that if I would have stayed a little more longer, I could have contributed in that way to this nation of ours. So, squadron leader Chinmay Rastogi, he was married and having a loving wife and a sweet little daughter, and of course, loving parents like that. So, beautiful lines he wrote, which I would like to read out for all of you. These are again lines of person who had led a meaningful life given to this motherland of ours, this Bharat Varsh of ours. So he always used to say, किसी गजरे की खुशबू को महकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं. This is about his wife. He would always say that whenever he would go home on leave, he would carry gajra for his wife. किसी गजरे की खुशबू को महकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं, मेरी नन्ही सी चिड़िया को चहकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं. Little daughter, he would call her चिड़िया. तो किसी नन्ही सी चिड़िया को चहकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं, किसी गजरे की खुशबू को महकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं, मेरी नन्ही सी चिड़िया को चहकता छोड़ आया हूं मैं। मुझे छाती से लगा ले हे भारत माँ, मैं अपनी खुद की माँ को तरसता छोड़ आया हूं। That's what he was feeling, that I left behind knowingly that I'm going for this Kargil war. I might not return back to my loving wife, to my sweet little daughter, to my most worshipable mother. उनको मैं तरसता छोड़ आया, उनकी गजरे की खुशबू को वहाँ पर महकता छोड़ आया, मेरी नन्ही सी चिड़िया को वहाँ पर चहकता छोड़ आया। किसके लिए? अपने इस देश के लिए। इसलिए हम यही कहना चाहेंगे आप लोगों को कि हम सब जो इस भारतवर्ष में पैदा हुए हैं, हम सब जो भारत के लाल अपने आप को कहते हैं, भारत के सपूत अपने आप को कहते हैं, यदि हम अपने भारतीय होने की संस्कृति को अपने जीवन में पालन करें, जैसे कि हमारे श्रील प्रभुपाद, वो एक भारतीय जो कि अपने 70 वर्ष की उम्र में वो पाश्चात्य देश में जाकर हमारे इस भारतीयता को, न केवल हमारे भारतीयता को बल्कि हमारे पूरे सनातन धर्म को उन्होंने, जैसे जो हमारे शहीद हुए, जो इन्होंने वीर गति प्राप्त की, उन्होंने तो दुश्मनों का संहार किया, परंतु श्रील प्रभुपाद ये ऐसे भारत के लाल हुए जिन्होंने जाकर उनको सनातनी बना दिया। Not only becoming victorious over these, especially when he went to Britain, to England. And I'll conclude with this. When, he was asked, when he was in Britain, in the UK, when he was asked this question, that Swamiji, why have you come here to England? Srila Prabhupada said, that you Britishers, you came to India, you ruled over us. And you literally stole everything from us, our natural resources, the Kohinoor diamond, everything from us. But you forgot to steal the Vedic, Bhagavad, Dharma, the culture of this country. I have come to give that to all of you. So I would like to thank all of you on this very, very wonderful evening of our discussion on such a wonderful topic, wherein I could share my thoughts. Like I said at the beginning, that the fruition of this discussion, इसकी जो परिपूर्णता हमारे आज की चर्चा की, वही होगी। कब होगी? जब जो कुछ आज हम सीखे हैं, जिन कहानियों से, जिन किस्सों से, जिन एग्जाम्पल से, वो यदि हमारे जीवन में परिवर्तन लाए, तो जैसे हम कहते हैं, हे भारत के राम जगो, मैं तुम्हें जगाने आया हूँ। थैंक यू ऑल वेरी मच। हरे कृष्ण।
Keep the claps going. Keep the claps going. So we thank His Grace Shikshashtakam Prabhu for giving us such an enlivening seminar and giving us a glimpse of what it is to live a meaningful life from a mean life, which probably most of us are living. So